Now on CoastTV News.
Belmead Farm battle.
They do not meet the minimum district requirements.
Why a push to rezone a Rehoboth horse property into apartments and retail sparks backlash.
Fire funding drop.
The taxes being raised in any local towns or the county don't benefit us.
Bethany Beach is seeing a surge in calls, but donations are drying up.
We have dangerous winds along with flooding concerns across all of Delmarva. I'll update you on the latest.
Protecting pets. A new bill creating a list of convicted animal abusers.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
A public hearing room filled in Sussex County. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with dozens of people speaking about plans to rezone a horse farm on Route 24. On your screen now is the property in question. It's on Route 24 near Beacon Middle School.
A developer wants to turn the 39 acres into apartments and businesses. CoastTV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live there. Brandon, this hearing has been taking all day almost.
Maddie, this entire land behind me must be changed to a C4 commercial district to allow for any building of those apartments or businesses. Stables now, maybe apartments and businesses later. That's what Belmead LLC wants to do with this piece of land after Planning and Zoning recommended approval this summer. Tuesday, the Sussex County Council heard the request to rezone Belmead Farm. Those with the project say it will offer much-needed affordable housing and has gotten support from nonprofits. The Sussex County Land Use Application Docket is a place where all documents live in relation to a possible rezoning like the one here at Belmead. There's also a place where you can comment if you're for, neutral, or opposed to a possible change like this one. For the Belmead project, 297 comments were left. Out of those 297, 294 opposed the project, with only 2 neutral to it and 1 for it. Judy Rose Seibert, spokesperson for the Route 24 Alliance, says it's simple why County Council should deny this.
Belmead is requesting a change of zone to C4, and they do not meet the minimum district requirements, 2 of them, for a C4, and therefore the County Council must deny them.
People that live in the Saddle Ridge development right across from Belmead say it's the increase in traffic that could come that's on the top of their mind. The applicant says the location is ideal for development with schools and a newly constructed police station nearby. The applicants have a plan and neighbors have questions. DelDOT says they will build a traffic light if this were to get approved right here. This is where the entrance would be to the Belmead development. And after 4 hours of public hearing discussion, the last caller is currently wrapping up right now on the meeting. For what comes of the public hearing, you can tune in to CoastTV News at 11 tonight. Live in Lewes, Brandon Ferguson, CoastTV News.
And just up the street on Route 24 and Mulberry Knoll Road are plans for a Target, Whole Foods, and Costco. That's called Atlantic Fields. Sussex County Planning and Zoning has a public hearing tomorrow for that proposal. And similar to Belmead, in order for Atlantic Fields to be built, it first must be rezoned. We've talked you through this on our website. You can get all those details on coasttv.com.
The Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company relies on donations to keep fire and EMS operations available throughout the year. But this year, firefighters say they've been receiving fewer donations compared to years past. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live there at the Bethany Beach Fire Company. Kevin, the Volunteer Fire Company works around the clock.
Christina, these fire trucks behind me are ready to roll out at a moment's notice. But according to the fire company, they've received fewer charity donations when compared to years prior. And that's partly because, in their opinion, it may have to do with the property tax hikes. Now take a look at your screen. Instead of donations, the fire company says they've been getting these letters. Residents saying property tax bills in Sussex County have gone up too much, leaving less money to give. But according to fire company president Brian Martin, they aren't getting any more money despite the tax increase.
We have one local town that gives us a small donation every year, other towns that don't support us financially at all.
If you would like to donate to the Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company, you could do so online, by mail, or in person. I'm Kevin Zapay, live in Bethany Beach, Coast TV News.
In a major step towards strengthening animal welfare protections, Delaware will create a public animal abuse registry. That's the first of its kind in the state. Governor Matt Meyer signed the bill into law in August. A ceremonial signing took place today. That's what you see images of now. So here's how it works. The Office of Animal Welfare will now maintain a public online list with names and photos of adults convicted of animal abuse crimes. The registry is designed to help animal shelters and rescues identify people who may pose a risk to those animals and prevent them from acquiring new pets.
This bill is really at the root of our mission as an organization. It's so important for us to be able to put these safeguards in place to help the animals find homes.
According to the bill, those convicted of a misdemeanor will remain on the registry for 5 years, 15 years for convicted animal abuse felons.
And this brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know if you support the new animal abuse registry.
It was an overwhelming yes at 5, and it's actually gone up. Now, 96% say yes, 4% though do say no.
We also have a comment today. Debbie of Georgetown says it's well past due.
If you haven't voted yet, or you want to leave a comment, your thoughts on what this means, please do so on coasttv.com or our app, and we will have updates at 11. A dispute between the city of Lewes and its police union, that's been resolved. The grievance from the FOP filed in June said the promotion of 3 officers went against the union contract. Now, new tonight, Mayor Amy Marasco says those 3 officers' promotions have been rescinded, and City Council is looking to reinstate them properly. Marasco says that the policy to give those promotions was not followed, but it is being looked at to be made clearer for the future.
Well, it's been a rainy day here on the coast. You can see on your screen now some monster waves crashing down in Bethany Beach. Beach conditions remain dangerous with a high rip current risk, waves between 15 and 10 feet, and the potential for beach erosion there.
And over in Lewes, let's take a look here at some strong winds blowing the sand and, a little bit of flooding there on the roads. And our meteorologist, Paul Williams, he has been tracking this. Look at the sand there, and he's going to keep us updated. Let's take one more live look now right outside into Rehoboth Beach. Another shot of all those waves as we turn it over to Paul, who says we're not out of the woods quite yet.
No, really not. And you know what? Meteorological words I could utilize for this, but I think the best word is miserable. And staying that way, okay? We're in Lewes, we're cloudy, looks miserable here as well, but at least it's not severe, so there's always an upside to everything in life, isn't there? We're looking for scattered showers to continue, possibly a flash of lightning at 9 o'clock. We take a look at the winds. Look at the winds between 44 and 39 mile per hour gusts out of the northeast for Indian River Inlet as well as Bethany Beach. That's been the rule of the day. In fact, take a look at some of these other wind gusts. We had to update with a few more. Indian Beach got up to 48 for a moment. 46 mile per hour gusts recorded in Lewes, 41 Rehoboth Beach, Fenwick Island, 44 for us. It's been just that kind of a situation for us. Now, our flood watch is in effect for Chincoteague for right now, and we actually have a coastal flood advisory in effect for Worcester, includes Snow Hill, Newark, as well as over towards Ocean Pines. And then we have wind advisories kicking in for us for Cape Isle Wright, Ocean City, Fenwick Island, Ocean View, Bottom Hills, Dewey Beach, Rehoboth, and Lewes Beach. And this is pertaining just to the winds alone, gusting and blustery at about 40 to even up to 50 mile per hour gusts. And then we have concerns inland with our coastal flood advisory, because this is the back end of a low pressure system that's pushing in our general direction. We can see the circulation right here with that low. And as I widen the scope here, we have the low pressure system that's kicking this through, and it's going to stay cohesive, but it's moving inland. So I'm not expecting it to turn tropical on Maddie. However, it's going to continue to stick around and make us, well, that magic word at the top of the newscast or weathercast, miserable.
Paul, thank you. Now, we all remember probably a year ago, medical waste washed ashore of Delaware's beaches. It shut swimming down from Rehoboth to Assateague Island. We've been asking questions. How did these syringes, needles, feminine hygiene products, how did those get here? And the Coast Guard, Maryland Natural Resources, Assateague Seashore, DNREC, and more, have we found the source? We've asked them that. And according to DNREC and DNR, those are two of just the roughly 60 agencies investigating. They say there's no updates. And folks we spoke to say they don't understand that.
I have no idea where the waste could have come from or why it would have washed up on the shores like this. I don't know.
And 1 year later, the waste is gone, but plenty of questions remain, and we will keep you updated if anything comes to pass. But we're just getting started this evening.
Coming up, Orioles versus White Sox. The Delmarva Sports Network takes a look at the game.
And this evening will remain windy and rainy, and that could be the case for tomorrow as well. Details coming right up.
But first, development along Kings Highway. Locals weigh in on what it means for housing, businesses, and Lewes as a whole when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
If you live in Sussex County, you've probably driven down Kings Highway in Lewes. There are several developments in the works or proposed on that road.
And Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us how the stretch of road is changing and why it's driving worry from some community members.
Driving on Kings Highway in Lewes.
Irresponsible development.
That's how some locals, like Ron Collins, would describe what they see. Recently on the road, there's been a proposed shopping center, a development called Mitchell's Corner under construction, and a proposed independent living facility. Collins says he's not opposed to more housing, but is worried the Lewes he once knew will vanish.
Chaos, right? I mean, if you just think about the housing, you think about the high school, I mean, forget about football games and what have you. It's just mania. And I think it will have a negative impact on housing and have a negative impact on people who live there.
Local Gerald Kelly thinks there's already enough residential development in the area.
I kind of think there's a need for more commercial development and less residential because there's so much residential development going on. So if it's planned right, I don't have any problems with some additional commercial space.
These cones and construction behind me are part of the current phase of DelDOT's larger plan to widen Route 9 from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. They say this current phase will be complete in October, but they haven't said when the overall Route 9 project will be complete or the widening of the Kings Highway portion of the project. Reporting in Lewes, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Here's a look at your golf forecast. I would recommend you just skip the day, but if you just have to get out there, realize you're going to run into some scattered showers, breezy conditions, winds out of the east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. We are expecting windy and rainy conditions. It's so blustery. You can actually see the camera. You see the camera shaking right there? Yeah, that's because the winds are howling at about 45 to up to maybe even 50 mile per hour wind gusts for us. It's really active, and because it's higher elevated, not down to the ground where we're located. This is higher elevation, so it can be a little bit more active there. Now, we are expecting scattered showers to stick around till about the 10 o'clock hour. The seas are going to be just rough. Rip current concerns, the whole 9 yards, not the day or the night to be out on the beach. 68 degrees in Rehoboth, but 64 right now in Georgetown. This is the look at the rain right now. Though the rain is on the backside of a low pressure system that's pushing its way up and moving the rain in a direction that we usually aren't accustomed to, moving from the southeast, moving towards the northwest. And so it's a bit of a backwards pattern than what we're accustomed to. However, what is indeed right on course is actually dealing with the winds. We have a wind advisory that's going to stay in effect at least until 8 o'clock for us. Rehoboth, as well as Dewey Beach. This reaches down towards Bayview Park, Ocean View, Fenwick Island until 8 o'clock for this evening. And then we have the wind advisory also until at least 10 o'clock for Ocean City, all the way down towards Golf Club Shores. And we're concerned about gusty wind conditions, even down towards Chincoteague. And it's down in this area where we have active flash flood warnings right now. Because we've been inundated with wave upon wave of strong storms. And there's another cell, you can see that's producing right here, right there. That's producing some hail that's headed straight for just north of the immediate Chincoteague area. Gale wind warnings are also in effect. That means we're watching out for 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and we see that right now, along with widespread concerns for coastal flood advisory, because this low pressure system is a relatively sluggish moving system, so it's not moving rapidly. And so we have in excess of 2.5 inches of accumulation near Snow Hill, Mount Wesley, and towards Timmins Road, as well as Ayers Lane Road, and over towards Nasawanga Road near Snow Hill. Rainfall amounts, not quite cracking a full inch just yet, but we're still tabulating for it for right now. Even as you go up towards Harbison and Milford, looking at about 3/4 of an inch of rain, but still more rain is falling because that rain system is pushing in our direction. You see, by 10 o'clock, we're looking for more in the way of push of rain, and then these isolated cells will continue to dance across our region, really until the late night, early morning hours. 46-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Indian River Inlet right now, a 31-mile-per-hour wind gust in Ocean City. Some of the peak wind gusts up to 48 Indian Beach, 44 now up to 47 Indian River Inlet, and the winds 50-mile-per-hour gusts possibly by 11 o'clock tonight at Bethany Beach. And then we stay active even to early morning hours to like 2:30 in the morning for Wednesday. We're looking forward to staying very cooperative for us tomorrow. Winds are out of the east. We'll have temperatures in the 70s right now, but we're looking for cloudy skies staying persistent, and the amount of rain that we expect for additional rain, maybe up to an inch in some areas, but not much beyond that actually, because you got to remember for Wednesday, we'll see it clear out briefly, and then we'll see a spot of shower here or there, but it'll clear out very rapidly for us as you take a look at what's happening for the next 3 days. We're looking for Wednesday to stay a bit on the cloudy side, and the winds will continue to stay at least obedient to the idea that, hey, we're not stopping anytime soon. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
In the majors, Baltimore beat down on the White Sox last night. The Orioles used a 3-run blast from the guy behind me, Colton Cowser, to cruise past Chicago. 9 strikeouts from O starter Kyle Bradish certainly didn't hurt either. Does the fun continue tonight? The odds makers in Vegas don't think so. For just the 3rd time all season, the White Sox are favored to win a game. At 57-94, Chicago owns the worst record in the NL and 2nd worst in Major League Baseball, ahead of only the 41-win Colorado Rockies. The Sox trot pitcher Shane Smith out to the mound. This right-hander has a solid 3.78 ERA and is set to make his 27th start on the year. Regardless of how well Smith pitches, though, his Sox average the 5th fewest runs per game league-wide. Baltimore limited Chicago to 1 score off 4 hits in yesterday's win. Orioles starter Dean Kramer, who's battling through a forearm injury, tries to keep it that way tonight. Let's see how he looks after missing a week and a half. First pitch from Chicago is at 7:40. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night and enjoy some O's.
On the air that I answered for Maddie off air. Tomorrow is going to be not as bad, but still miserable nonetheless. Cloudy skies staying persistent. The winds that make it uncomfortable on the beach, that's going to continue to howl in our neck of the woods. Temperature settling into the 60s. Here's the latest look at the radar. Embedded thunderstorms rumbling around George Island Landing, so keep that in mind. Michael Gorman of Dover, you're our umbrella giveaway winner, and right on schedule because you're going to need that umbrella this time around. You can call our weather line 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mandalis, and Federico. And then finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. 73 on Wednesday, not quite as rainy and windy, but still cloudy and drizzly and all that other type of stuff. Little to no sunshine. More breaks in the sun and the cloud cover for Thursday with 78 for the high. Then we'll reach up to 85 on Friday and then go back to the basement into the mid-70s over the weekend.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.